Hey everyone, and welcome to this video. My name is Christian from Beyond Premiere, and today we're explaining Longlegs, a film so creepy it makes the possessed dolls from other movies look like Care Bears. We're going to break down the ending, uncover the hidden meanings, and explore the chilling themes that make this film a masterpiece of horror. So if you're brave enough to join us, let's get started. Okay, so Longlegs starts off with a scene that's going to stay with you long after the credits roll. We're in the 1970s, the snow is falling, and this little girl is playing in her yard. Everything seems peaceful and innocent. Now, here's the thing. We don't see his face at first. He's this shadowy figure lurking in the background, and his voice is totally unsettling. He's got this weird inflection, this creepy sing-song way of talking, and he's saying things that are just a little bit off. It's a brilliant way to introduce this character because it creates a sense of mystery and unease right from the start. We don't know who he is, we don't know what he wants, but we know he's dangerous. It's like that feeling you get when you're walking down a dark street at night and you sense someone's watching you. It's a primal fear, and it's a powerful way to draw the viewer into the story. Now let's jump ahead to the present day where we meet Lee as an adult. She's an FBI agent, but she's not your typical by-the-book investigator. She's got this intuitive ability, this sixth sense, that allows her to see things that others miss. And you know what? It's a gift and a curse. It makes her a brilliant detective, but it also puts her in danger. Remember that scene where she and her partner are looking for a killer in that neighborhood? Lee just knows which house to go to, but it costs her partner his life. This is where it gets more interesting, that scene not only establishes Lee's abilities, but it also foreshadows the danger that's gonna be beneath the surface of this seemingly ordinary world. And then we have Longlegs himself. This guy's a master of manipulation and terror. He's a serial killer, but here's the twist. He never gets his own hands dirty. He uses creepy dolls infused with something dark and powerful to corrupt families and turn them against each other. Now think about this for a second. It's one thing to be afraid of a monster in the shadows or a masked killer with a knife, but the idea that something as innocent as a doll can be a weapon of evil is terrifying. And the show's creators do a brilliant job of creating a sense of unease around these dolls. They're beautifully crafted, but there's something off about them, something unsettling, that makes your skin crawl. We catch glimpses of Longlegs making them in his workshop, and those scenes are full of chilling details, tools, materials, and that unsettling vibe that something truly sinister is being created. But hold on, because it's only going to get creepier from here. Okay, so Lee's on the case and she's determined to crack the code. She's studying those letters that Longlegs leaves behind, and those cryptic messages are full of hidden meaning. And she's starting to realize that this is just more than a typical serial killer case. There's a supernatural element at play. For example, she's drawn to the home of one of the victims, the Camera family, and there in their dusty old barn, she discovers something truly chilling. This is where it gets really creepy. The doll, as we can see, is beautifully crafted, but as we know, there's something off about them. It's like staring right at you, and you get this feeling that it's watching you and watching your every move. And that's what they take it to discover something even more unsettling, a strange metallic sphere inside the doll's head. What is this thing? How does it connect to the murders? The film doesn't give us all the answer, but it's clear that this is the key to Longlegs' power. The doll with that sphere inside is a weapon that he used to corrupt families and control their actions. It's like a ball of dark energy, and this discovery is going to send Lee investigation down a very dark path. And then we got Carrie and Camera, the sole survivor of Longlegs' first murder. This young woman has been in a catatonic state for years, seemingly lost to the world. But there's a twist. As soon as Lee finds a dead doll in the Camera family barn, Carrie Ann wakes up. Now that's not a coincidence. It's a sign that there's a connection between the dolls and the victims. And get this, Carrie Ann claims that Longlegs is a good man, that she trusts him, and that she's willing to do anything he asks. That's so messed up, but it's also a reminder that Longlegs' power is not just about violence, it's about manipulation and the corruption of belief. He preys on people's vulnerabilities, and he used their fate to control them. So what's the deal with Carrie Ann? How is she connected to Longlegs, and is she truly under his influence, or is something else going on? This is where the film gets really intriguing, because it's forcing us to question the nature of good and evil, the fine line between sanity and madness. And now we get to the turning point of the film. Lee, haunted by that photo of Longlegs from her childhood, starts to realize that she knows something on a personal level. Because throughout the film, we see how Longlegs was saying cryptic things and messages about her birthday. But it's starting to make sense. She goes to her mother's house, and this is where it gets really intense. The house is a hoarder paradise filled with years of Lee's childhood, and deep within those boxes, Lee discovers a chilling truth, a photo of Longlegs from years ago. This discovery sets off a series of events that will shatter Lee's world. She confronts her mother, demanding answers, and what's truly terrifying is that it's more than we can imagine. It turns out that Rude has been Longleg's accomplice all along. She's the one delivering those dolls to the families, and she's the one who's been helping Longlegs carry out his evil plans. That was so mind-blowing, it was a nice twist. But this is a revelation that's going to leave us speechless. It's a shocking betrayal, and it shows how deeply Longlegs has corrupted those around him. He's not just a killer, he's a destroyer of families, and he's been manipulating Lee and her mother for years. But let's talk about one of the most unsettling scenes in the entire film, the interrogation. They finally caught Longlegs and he's in a room with Lee. You think she's got the upper hand, but think again. Longlegs again is a master manipulator. Even when he's chained to a table, he's playing mind games with Lee, taunting her with the cryptic clues about her past and her connection to him. And it's working. He's getting under her skin, making her doubt herself and driving her closer to the edge. And then he does something completely unexpected. He starts hitting his head against the table over and over again until he's gone. It's brutal, it's shocking, and it's genius. Longlegs knows that even in death, he can still control the narrative. He's turning the interrogation into a performance, a final act of defiance that's designed to mess with Lee's head. And here's the thing, it also leaves a lot of unanswered questions. Did he really die? Or was something else at play? And how will his death affect the investigation? This scene is a masterclass in psychological horror, and it's one of the things that makes Longlegs such a haunting film. And now we come to the most intense part of the film, the confrontation between Lee and her mother. Lee's world has been shattered. He knows that Rude is Longlegs' accomplice, and she's racing against time to stop her from delivering another deadly doll. He arrives at Agent Carter's house, knowing that his daughter is the next target. But it's already too late. She's there, dressed as a nun, with a doll in hand. And it's chilling to see how easily she's able to manipulate the Carters, how she used their fate and their trust to gain entry into their home. Lee tries to warn them to expose her mother's true nature, but they don't believe her. Then that's when things spiral out of control. Agent Carter, under the influence of the doll, goes crazy, and Lee, in a desperate attempt to save Carter's daughter and also her mother. It's a devastating moment full of tragedy and heartbreak, and it's the ending of Lee's emotional journey. She lost everything, her partner, her trust in her mother, and now she's taken a life to protect another. It's a powerful scene, and it's going to stay with us long after the film ends. Okay, but let's talk about that ending because it definitely left a lot of people scratching their heads. The film ends with Lee holding Agent Carter's daughter Ruby, surrounded by the carnage of her mother's action. She's safe for now, but what's going to happen next? The doll Longlegs made for Ruby is still there, a chilling reminder that evil has not been completely vanquished. And there are also so many questions left unanswered. Is Lee herself possessed now? Is Ruby in danger? And what would the consequences be for Lee, who's now killed? And what would the consequences be for Lee? Now, so this is the million-dollar question. Is Lee possessed by Longlegs at the end of the film, or the demon that? That's something that people are saying. So we see her staring at the doll, her gun empty, and it's totally unsettling. The film leaves it open to interpretation, but here's the thing. I don't think it's as straightforward as a simple yes or no. Longlegs, even in death, still has power over Lee. He's a part of her life since childhood, and maybe even his death, but that's my theory. I can be wrong. She's been traumatized by his actions, haunted by his presence, and now she's holding the very doll that was meant to corrupt her. So is she possessed? Perhaps. But I think it's more complicated than that. She might be experiencing a psychological breakdown, struggling with the trauma of everything that's going on. The film doesn't give us a definite answer, but hey, they opened the doors for a part 2. Also, there's some fascinating elements that add more layers to the film. For example, both Longlegs and Rude quote Revelation 13:1 right before they die. This Bible verse talks about a beast with 7 heads and 10 horns rising from the sea. In the film, Longlegs and Root are like the beast, manipulating and destroying families. And speaking of symbols, let's talk about that number 14. He's targeting families with daughters born. He's targeting families with daughters born. He's targeting families with daughters born. He's targeting families with daughters born on the 14th of any month. But yes, there's other more symbolism on the film. I can do more videos on this crazy film. This is unbelievable. It's just so insane the way that when you're in the film, you feel the tension and you feel the characters are struggling with all of this. It's just so amazing. Cannot wait to see it again. But what are your thoughts on Longlegs? Leave it in the comments below. My name is Christian, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.